I get it. I completely understand that you may not always know what to even talk about. Like, how can I create content? Simply just press record and I don't even know what to talk about. I think that's a valid question that runs through people's minds as they get ready to start creating content. Or you could be someone who, you're doing your content thing, but you don't always know what to talk about, right? And live streaming has taught me something. It has taught me that you may not always be able to, you may not always have the ability to find the words, which again is valid, but let the words find you. I think trusting yourself to just speak from the heart sometimes. Just speak from whatever place shows up once you turn on the camera can be so freeing in this journey of content creation because there's always so much pressure to plan videos, like plan out your content, um, script out your content, come up with a thumbnail. Come up with a thumbnail and do all this work, which before you can even just simply press record and turn on the camera. The live streaming has taught me that if you trust yourself enough to like press record and speak out a sentence and just know as you progress, the content, the topic of that video will come together. That will in fact happen. Now, I think it takes practice to trust yourself on that level. Speaking from experience, I'm just thinking back to when I started my channel and I sounded so like robotic on camera. I didn't sound like myself, which is natural. It takes time to build your on camera presence, but you can never build it if you don't try, if you don't just practice. I know for me, before I started YouTube, I spent a lot of time just taking my phone and putting it in this horizontal mode and just pressing record and talking to the camera. I would do stuff like I was an avid journaler, and I was, instead of writing out my thoughts, I just turned on the camera and said them to the camera and created like a video diary. So that was one way I got practice with talking to the camera, but there's nothing like the real deal. I think it's cool to practice, in the comfort and the safety of just you and your phone and don't have to post it anywhere. But when you are coming to the big leagues of YouTube and you do have the act of posting, something happens within you. And a lot of times when you're first starting out, you get nervous, and those nerves, all these different random thoughts may be running through your mind. It can get in the way of how you show up on camera. It gets in the way of you just simply being able to interact with the camera as if it truly is someone on the other side and you're talking directly to them. So I would definitely say, like, you got to practice. You got to practice. And if you aren't familiar, you got to just press record. That comes from Think Media, a channel here on YouTube. That literal saying comes from Sean Cannell. He created Think Media, and they are an incredible resource for content creators. Um, and even for tonight, did I know what I wanted to talk about? Or for this video right here, did I know what I wanted to talk about? No, like there's nothing going on in my mind at the moment that I feel so deeply passionate about that I couldn't wait to get on the camera and start talking. I have a list of topics for these lives, and I went over my list of the topics. I was like, nothing here I'm like excited to go for and talk about. So I was just kind of on YouTube looking for some inspiration and everything like that. And then boom, the idea in my mind this idea popped in my mind for myself. Like, just turn on the camera and let things flow. Let's see what happens. So I think this is a good moment to say, you're not always going to want to feel like creating content. Like, for those of us, or for those of you that understand, creating content is going to be beneficial for you, whether you're someone trying to do this as a full time job or just someone who wants to build an audience. Maybe you just want this to be an additional income stream for yourself. Perhaps you're an entrepreneur, right? There's different reasons that people desire to create content. But when you start to get in the act of content creation, you're not always going to feel inspired or passionate. Like, you can be passionate. I love YouTube. I love creating content. Like, I'm passionate about this, but am I always going to feel it at every single moment? No, I'm not. I don't think that's realistic, but I can't let just the fact of not feeling it stop me from turning on the camera and getting a rep in. I am someone who is a newer YouTuber, not necessarily a new content creator, but I'm a new YouTuber. And what I found in my journey, the more reps that I have with the act of creating YouTube videos, the better off I'll be. And if you aren't aware, I'm on a 30-day challenge to live stream every single day. When I put myself on this challenge, I had no idea what I was getting into. I didn't know how challenging this would be. Why is it challenging to live stream every day? You may think, well, all you have to do, like, you don't have to edit. You don't have to, all you have to do is like go live, right? Like, I'm not sure if it sounds easy to you, because it sounded pretty easy to me. I'm like, why not? I could just go live. It's simple, right? But doing this, committing to doing this daily has forced me, even if I don't feel like it, I have to show up. And putting myself through that has shown me this lesson that I would like you to take away from this video of, like, content creation is something that you're going to not always feel like you have the perfect ingredients for in the moment, but there has to be a level of trust within yourself. You have to trust that you are a creative being. I think in the world of content creation, and sorry, my food has arrived, so I'm multitasking right now. Um, Let me just see. Hey, my husband will come pick it up. 1 second. But yeah, in the world of content creation, I don't think there is a lot of emphasis on the fact that you're a creative being, especially for people getting into content creation. The YouTube gurus and them, I don't think they're making the assumption that maybe people who want to get into content creation have very limited experience with viewing themselves as a creative person. But this is creativity at the end of the day. Like, and with creativity, it's not always this endless, this well, this endless well of like you always have to pull from. Does that make sense? Like your creativity, I feel like maybe we can use the analogy of your phone battery. Sometimes your creativity is at full strength, it's fully charged. Other times, your creativity is on 2% and you're just trying to make it through the day. There's different factors within our lives that may take from our creativity energy bank. Maybe let's call it that. You know, I fully recognize when you have a full-time job or something that just takes up your day, you're drained overall sometimes. And when you're just low on regular energy, it can be very difficult to tap into your creative energy, especially if you don't have the habit in place of on a daily basis connecting with your creative energy. So, live streaming has taught me because I've had to connect with my creative energy, regardless of how I'm feeling, that there's so much benefit in establishing a daily habit of being creative. So, for people who are in the process of just trying to become a content creator or be a more consistent content creator, or maybe you're someone who's been in the game but you've fallen off a little bit. I'm not really sure who has landed on this video, but ultimately practice makes perfect. I wish I had another word besides perfect, but practice does something good for the act of like becoming the content creator you envision yourself to be. Um, Tammy Morrison says hello, and she says, no, it is challenging. I agree. Simply putting on the camera to record is challenging. I mean, just connecting it back to the point that I brought up, if you don't have a habit of turning on the camera and recording, it makes complete sense that that's going to be challenging. But I guess I'm trying to encourage you to just try it out, just start, just see what it's like. You just never know what's going to come out of your mouth. Um, you never know what's going to come out your mouth. And I think for me, doing this live stream challenge, maybe I've said this already, but I just started to trust myself more and to take that a step further. I don't second guess what's coming out of my mouth as much as I did prior to beginning live streaming. I feel like when you are creating a YouTube video, especially if you're newer with it, even though you have a idea and you could really like the idea for your video, when it comes now time to actually sit down and record it and you start hearing what comes out of your mouth, it can be like, oh my gosh, am I making sense? Is this really what I want to say? I know for me, a lot of the times I'm really focused on making sure how I communicate with my viewer is as clear as possible. And I really want whoever's watching to understand what I'm trying to share with them. I really want to be a person who has a an ability to convey my message well. But I found oftentimes when I just wanted to create a video, I would I would constantly be in the back of my mind wondering, does this sound right? Is this coming out right? Does this look right? Is it right? But live streaming has taught me just go with the flow because and the reason that happened for me, I went into live streaming not really caring if I got a lot of views or if I sounded crazy or if I didn't sound right because I've never done this before. So I can't have those expectations on myself. So Tammy says she also stopped second guessing herself when she challenged herself to do live streams or upload for 30 days, right? And I would have never known this would be a outcome of doing this. Not having to no longer second guess myself nearly as much as I was before has created this freedom in my content creation. Freedom. And I think freedom is so important because we are creative beings at the end of the day. And what I'm about to say comes from a video that I recently watched today. I don't know who exactly to credit, but let me just flow. Freedom is very important to any type of creation, but I will keep this in the context of content. When you have parameters around you, especially parameters that you place on yourself, you create these kind of roadblocks and you create additional hurdles for yourself, which ultimately gets in the way of you connecting with the other person on the side of the camera. But when you operate in like a freedom sort of aura around you in terms of your content creation, it really allows you to connect with yourself and just show up authentically on camera. On my first YouTube channel, I made this video, and I think the title was about it's hard to connect to your authentic self when you're doing something new. Let me just repeat that again. It's hard to connect with your authentic self when you are doing something new. That's what I was experiencing. It's like when the camera is not on, usually you know who you are. Like you know who your authentic self is. But there's something about turning on the camera that kind of hold on, if you don't mind, I have it written down somewhere. Cuz someone said it in a comment before. When the camera goes on, my personality and mind go blank. Has anyone ever experienced that before? Because I certainly have. Let me get back to the live stream. So I'm taking a moment to pause because my daughter just woke up. Savvy, do you mind trying to put Onyx back to bed? It's okay. Thank you. But yes, let me just collect my thoughts. I was saying, um, I read a comment from someone before, and they said, when the camera goes on, my personality and mind goes blank. That can be such a frustrating experience because I know for me, when I would experience that, I would get upset because I really just wanted to interact with the camera as if it was me talking to my best friend, or someone that really knows me. I wanted to interact with the camera as if it was someone that I was really comfortable around, you know? If you think of that person or those people in your life, when you're around them, you know you're being you to the fullest degree. A lot of us, we have jobs or we come across different scenarios within our day, within our week, where we put on a certain, maybe mask is the word. Like you kind of have to, you know, at work, you're not going to be you're going to be your work self. When you are in some other type of situation, you're going to be your whatever self that is. But there's a group of people or a couple people, when they're around, who you are is front and center without any hesitation. And it's like when you start to create content, you think in your mind, oh, it'll be simple. All I have to do is just turn on the camera and that person will come out. But it seems like, from my own experience at least, that person likes to go and hide. And it's like, what the heck? Like, can you please get out of hiding? I need you to be here. This is the real time where I need you to show up. Hello. And I guess my remedy for that I found, for me at least, is simply takes time to bring that true person from out of the shadows, out of the closet, and onto the camera. It's all about comfortability. I'm sorry. That's one of the words I don't really know how to say. Comfortability? I don't know. But it's all about comfort and becoming comfortable in this digital space, becoming comfortable in this YouTube world. When your true self actually feels comfortable, there's no hesitation to like let that personality, like when your true self feels comfortable, once you turn on the camera, there won't be any resistance for your true self to be present. And I've recognized that over time, through trial and error, through practicing, just simply turning on the camera and just going with it. I remember there was times when it would take hours to record one video, and this is when I used to like script my videos more to like a T. And I would script my videos like that because I again, I wanted to sound right. I wanted what I was sharing to come off right. So I thought, if I make a script and speak from the script, and I already had time to, get my thoughts out and formulate them in a picture perfect kind of way, or in a video perfect kind of way, then I'll be good to go. But what ended up happening for me is I would be so caught up on trying to follow that script that if I didn't say it exactly how I wrote it down, then I would constantly want to repeat, re-say it, and say it as close to what was on the script as possible. But for me, I didn't really like that, how it came across on camera, because it came across like I was reading from a script. It didn't come off like I was just having a conversation with the person. This is a scripted video that I clearly want to come out perfect. And that's not the type of content that I prefer to create. I prefer for my content to be situated more as a conversation with someone because conversations are impactful. Um, and honestly, from my research about just like the way content is trending, audiences are more attracted to conversational style content. Oh my gosh, why did this do this? What just happened? Okay, sorry. My thing got messed up. But yes, audiences are attracted to more conversational content in 2024 and possibly beyond. And honestly, conversational, relatable type of content is not necessarily anything new. Back like in old YouTube, that's how it used to be. But as time progressed, content creation became a lot more polished and people felt the need to show up like super perfect, super polished, super just, you know what I'm saying? And that type of content, it works in some certain scenarios, but overall, I don't think it's as effective as conversational style content because it doesn't allow you to connect with the person on the other side as easily. So, what I ended up doing is once I recognized scripting like that, constantly having to repeat myself and everything, I had to let go of that and I had to walk away from that because I get so frustrated in the process of filming. It does a few things. It makes me hesitant to want to film my videos. I would dread having to script out my videos because it took so long. And then, thirdly, really speaks to what I was just speaking about. Like, it doesn't feel, it doesn't give off the vibe and the feeling I'm trying to portray in my videos, having such a like planned out type of script. So, what I started to do instead, at the very minimum, just have bullet points of the things that I wanted to touch on and speak to them as I go in the video. Like, just be more laid back. Like, I definitely don't want to talk all over the place in my videos, but I can't follow a script like that to the T. It just, nah, nah. Uh, Teriel, hopefully I'm saying your name right. She says, yes, I love conversational style that also provides, oops, I love conversational style that also provides value. Thank you so much for bringing that point up because it's one thing to just get on here and have a random conversation. Like, I wish I could have done that, kind of just shared what my thoughts were, how I was feeling, all these different things, but that's not valuable ultimately to the person that I hope this video reaches. I want to be able to keep it conversational, but it be on a topic that can actually help someone. I'm not a person that wants to create content from a selfish standpoint. My content is I create content to be in service to others. And I feel like a mistake that a lot of new YouTubers make, they do in a sense understand that they are a creative being, which another way to put that is they are an expressive being. But they come onto YouTube creating content that only that's about them and that is focused on them. It's focused on them expressing themselves and getting what they need to get off of their chest, all for the purpose of them. But though YouTube has you in it, that doesn't always necessarily mean the subject matter of your content has to be focused on you. For me, the you in YouTube is like you want to deliver your message to someone how you do it in your style. You don't need to copy anyone else in terms of how you talk about stuff on here, right? But if you're someone who isn't doing YouTube as a hobby and just for fun, you do have to keep your audience in mind. You have to keep the viewer in mind and think about them. So, yeah, I think it's a perfect combination when the content is conversational, but also will help the person in some sort of way, AKA provide value of some sort. And value doesn't always mean it's education based and you're teaching someone how to do something. I fully believe that value can come from just being a companion to someone in that moment, creating a space of comfort for someone with the content that you make. You know, there's different ways to provide value and you just got to be clear on how would you like to provide value to people, to your ideal target audience. Um I I have really enjoyed this freedom that live stream has brought me because just speaking to the point of like editing and editing styles and stuff, like a lot of creatives and content creators have been plagued with the pressure to utilize retention style editing, which definitely has its place. It is beneficial. It is keeping the viewer in mind and wanting to create an experience within your video that will inspire them to continue watching. But with live streaming and not having to edit my video, I don't have to like be so concerned with how can I get my message across in such a, like short and sweet manner. And live streaming has allowed me to really bask in the beauty of true long form content. So I wish I wasn't scared to live stream earlier because now when I go to create my normal content, I'm just more free flowing and just like, let me get what I have to say off my chest. I could cut different parts out to make it a certain length of a video, but let me just talk to the camera. Let me just get it out and do what I need to do in post production. I no longer need to keep in the back of my mind while I'm actually filming a video like, ooh, make sure you say this short and sweet, type of thing. I think naturally that will happen if I'm just focusing on getting my point across. So I'm just looking over my mind and seeing, do I have anything else to share on this particular topic? So bear with me for one moment. What came up is the word fear, because I fully acknowledge that it can be a scary process to begin recording video content, becoming a content creator, and all of that. I've dealt with it myself. Like, I've dealt with debilitating fear stemming from many different sectors of what's involved in content creation. But I really I really want to drive home the point of you could get over the fear of creating content quicker by turning on the camera and just pressing record. Like if this is something, first you have to make the decision. If this is something you really want to do, you're going to have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Uncomfortability brings change. So it's just like if you're not willing to actually make yourself uncomfortable, maybe this isn't the route for you. Maybe this will only stay at a dream and a distant desire that you once had, but you never acted on because you weren't able to put yourself in in an uncomfortable situation. Going live for 30 days has been quite uncomfortable for me. But I did it and I'm doing my best to stick with it because it's going to change me in a really positive way. And honestly, I don't want to get too far away from my little thing about fear, but I just want to throw in real quick. Going live has skyrocketed my channel. I'm not saying I've gone viral and now all of a sudden I went from 500 views, 500 subscribers to 500,000. No, that didn't happen yet. But this month will probably be my best performing month on YouTube. And that's because I showed up on this platform every day. But, anyways, let's get back to this topic of fear. Another thing Sean Cannell says is you have to punch fear in the face. What's another way we could do it? We could put it like Nike, just do it. Like that was what I was saying. Like if this is something you seriously want to do, you have to understand it will only be uncomfortable for a little bit. Hi, good evening, the Woo Pig podcast. You're a bit more seasoned on this platform. What would you say about people who are afraid to get over here on YouTube? Like I would love to maybe even hear some insight from you. Like how did you get over your fear of just turning on the camera and starting? That's what I'm kind of talking about right now. But yeah, like you have to first make the decision that this content creation is seriously something you want to do. Like this is something that you want to take serious. You could just be in your season of simply sorry. You could just be in your season of simply wanting to do it. You know, just sitting on the sideline looking at everyone else like, "Oh, that would be nice. It would be nice to be a content creator. That would be cool." But when you know you're ready to get to the next level, like, all right, I'm serious. I know I can do this. Um, this is a path that I genuinely want to take. I don't want to be on the sideline anymore. I'm ready, coach. Put me in. I'm ready to get in the game. I'm ready to get in the YouTube game. And y'all better watch out. Like when you're in that mindset, right? Please just make a decision and a commitment to yourself. Like, I'm doing this regardless of the uncomfortability that it's going to put me through. I'm going to do this because I understand being uncomfortable is only for a certain period of time. It won't last. Yes, as you grow in your YouTube career, different things will, different challenges will arise, but at least at those points in time, you'll be able to lean on the fact like you brought yourself through so much already so you could get through it. But yeah, like you have to be 100% like willing to do this, like get into this 100% and be okay with feeling icky at times. The Woo Pig podcast says, be comfortable with making bad videos. Mm. Be comfortable with making bad videos. Don't expect to make money quickly. Ooh. Get 1% better with every video. Get 1% better with every upload. I love this. Like, let's just stay here for a second. Some other common beginner YouTube advice is like, your first 100 videos will probably be terrible. But it's the fact of like truly knowing that and being like it says here, being comfortable with that. When I took off like the pressure to make great videos and have great performing videos, I had my best performing video on my channel to date. If that's not like a testament to the beauty or the power of just being comfortable with like, it's going to be bad, and bad can be relative. It just means like how you create content on day one obviously will be worse than how you create it on day 1000 because you had more reps, you had more experience with it. Don't expect to make money quickly. I think that's a beautiful point to make because one of the barriers to simply just pressing record is like sometimes that pressure of, ooh, this has to be great. Because if it's not, that bag will come in slower. But check out, I think yesterday's live, the live before this one. I don't know. It's been a common thing that I've been trying to just even preach to myself. This is not a quick get rich quick money scheme type of thing over here. This is a long game, long term investment that in the future you will get a lot of money from, good amount of money from, if you stick with it for long enough. And knowing that in the beginning, like that's something I wish I was very clear on with myself because that would be one less barrier for me to show up on the camera as authentically as possible. And then get 1% better with every video. When I started my channel back in June, then I got burnt out and took a long break. So I came back in November of 2023. And my guiding, like my North Star, my thing that I just always return back to was actually this right here, get 1% better with every video. Because I'm a perfectionist. I'm actually, over time, since November, my perfectionist ways has decreased greatly. But as someone who naturally has been a perfectionist, there would be a lot of pressure I would put on myself to like need to do the most with every video. Like once I learned a new YouTube trick or strategy or skill or something like that, I would want to like put it all into the next video and everything like that. And it would just be so annoying. Like it was just an it would bog down my creation process of my video because I was trying to do everything all at once instead of like, okay, let me just focus on this video. The focus is going to be on creating a better thumbnail. Let's just focus on that and take this video as an opportunity to practice doing one thing instead of trying to throw in all the 7 different things I done learned that week about creating better YouTube videos, you know? So I think that's a beautiful way to approach, especially the early days of one's YouTube journey. Just 1% better. Just focus on tweaking one thing. Then over time, again, that phrase keeps coming back. Over time, tweaking 1% of each thing, focusing on one thing. Now, by video 15, video 10, you have these 10 different things that you're much better at and can more easily incorporate with your videos without much strain. So I think that's beautiful. I think that's wonderful. Um, just to land the plane on that. Oh, hold on. The Woo Pig podcast says Think Media has the best tag. You gotta just press record. I love it. And every time I go live, I focus on the consistency and make small tweaks that get me to that 1%. Yeah. Just a nice shout out to, the title of this video and where it even comes from. If you don't know who Think Media is, you haven't spent time on their channel, spent time in their universe. You have to ask yourself, are you serious about content creation? Because Think Media, oh my gosh, they're here for us. They have taught me so much, and they could teach you a lot if you aren't already learning from them. But yes, let's land the plane on the fear involved with simply just pressing record. It goes away if you have made the decision to be uncomfortable in these beginning phases and these early stages of your YouTube channel. That's the basis of it. I think this part about focus on the consistency. Consistency for a new YouTube channel is beneficial for a few reasons. One, you get better as a content creator because you're constantly putting yourself in a position to create. When you create a video once a week, that's only one opportunity to do all the actions involved with content creation, So the more you do it, the better you'll get. That goes for a lot of things in life. Secondly, when it comes to focusing on consistency, you need to train the algorithm in a sense about on like the type of creator you are, the type of content create, like how you're coming. You can't just assume based off two videos, the algorithm is going to know what you're all about. And it's about training the algorithm because the algorithm is the thing responsible for placing your content in front of the correct people. So if you're able to find your groove, maybe even do something like, challenging yourself to upload daily for 30 days. Do something crazy to be as consistent as possible in the beginning. Then you can find a more sustainable rate to upload your content. But yeah, consistency trains the algorithm to place your videos in front of the right people. And then the third point about consistency that I want to make is that oftentimes a new channel will see a lot of growth in the beginning if they're posting more frequently. So if you want to like get a good foundation at the very out the gate of your channel, consider how you could tweak your schedule to post as often as you possibly can. Going live is a great way to get a lot of uploads in, but not necessarily have to put in the time to edit, which is probably one of the most time consuming aspects of this. So yeah, I would try and figure out how consistent can you be. And the thought is leaving me. 1 second. I had one more thing to say about consistency. I don't know, guys. I feel like I lost it. Well, whatever. Let me just think for 1 second. I think I wanted to say something like the if you're consistent in the beginning of the channel of your channel, of your new YouTube channel, like you post as often as you can, you will like the quicker your more authentic self will show up on camera and the quicker your true audience will be able to find you. That's just what I wanted to say because I spoke about how your authentic self usually likes to go and hide when you're first starting your YouTube channel and you have to do so much work to pull them out. So it's like post as frequently as you can to kind of like surpass that phase or get through that phase as quickly as possible. So I will encourage you to, just as Think Media does, press record. You gotta just press record. You gotta just press record. You gotta just press record. There is so much greatness on the other side of making the decision to just press record. You want to look back on your life and be like, I was terrified or I didn't think I could do it. Some people aren't even scared. Some people just are like, what? This isn't for me, you know? But you never know what will happen if you just press record. And be bold enough, be brave enough to just go on the journey to figure it out. This is the thing that I've noticed. I really noticed recently how much like I've noticed the journey part in YouTube journey so much more in the month of March because I've gone live. Like this, you know how there's like other journeys, like self development or something like that, blah, 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 like that type of stuff. YouTube is like a major, like you change, like you blossom. Whether you don't even want to do content creation for the same reasons as me, to make money, to build a community, maybe that's not even your vibe. You don't want to do it to grow your business. Cool, cool, cool. But if you're trying to like get to know yourself, change and blossom and become your fully actualized self, go ahead and start a channel. Go ahead and just do YouTube because I am like unfolding and it's really cool. It's really awesome. It's amazing. And I love that, like, this is just the first year of my channel. I can't wait to see the type of content creator I am 3 years from now, 5 years from now. The Woo Pig podcast says, without motivation, you will never start, but without consistency, you will never finish. Denzel, you dropped a line from Denzel Washington. And you say, for me, consistency is everything. I'm going to read that again. I want that to soak in, and I'm just talking for me. Without motivation, you will never start, but without consistency, you will never finish. You will never finish. Right. I definitely feel that because when you burn out and you stop, you're not able to get the most out of reaching your goal. And I think for me, that's what I'm taking away from the part of like, without consistency, you will never finish. You will never get to the finish line, right? Like you'll never get to reaching your particular goal that you have for yourself. And with that being said, I hope that this video is motivational for you to start from scratch or pick up where you left off with your content or just get started on working on your next video that you have that you want to put out to the community that you're currently building. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.